And this is Carl Gustav Jung, one of my favorite, Carl and Freud, where they are the foremost psychoanalysis, psychoanalyst, in history. And both of them used to work together. Then they separated. They had several distinctions between them. But I love Young. Probably goes more in line with my Christian faith. And he talks about the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. When you become yourself, that is rest. I remember one lady on a TED talk, talk about dating herself. She had had to marry like 3 times, divorce 3 times, and where she found her peace is when she began to be at peace with herself. When she began to date herself, then she knew that it wasn't about looking for someone else to make her complete. It wasn't about running after someone else to make her happy, but it was that she could find that happiness. She could find that happiness with herself. So it was more of bringing someone else to share herself, not looking for someone else to complete her. And that goes back to what we talk about when we talk about the continuum of life, right? We say life starts with you being dependent, to you being independent, to you being interdependent, right? It's called a continuum of life. We start life where we are also dependent, right? To the place where we grow into independence, but the real place where we get the treasure of life, where we get the fullness of what life is a place where we become interdependent, where we of our own enter into relationship of a give and take, right? It's a place where we operate from a win-win or no deal. We're not after win-lose relationship, right? But we're going to a relationship whereby we're willing to give of ourselves to be a blessing to people. Like we typically would say, the paradox, of relationship or a healthy relationship is one in which people go into or come into for the sake of what they can give, not what they can receive. However, what keeps them together in the long term is what they receive, not necessarily what they give, right? But if you go into a relationship because of what you can get, you have already failed, right? That's failure. Relationship that lasts, relationship that are healthy, relationship that bless, that increases you, that brings you to a place of paradise, a place of fullness of life, is one that you must go into, not because of what you can get, but what you can give, right? But you can only do that if you're mature. You can only do that if you have found yourself, right? And Alan now Kelly had this to say to it all. Talks about that your authentic self is who you truly are as a person, right? Our authentic self is who we truly are as a person, and that person might have been wounded, right? As a result of occasion of life, that person might have been wounded. It's not to be run away from. Is first of all, you have to find peace with that person. Find rest with that person, settle the score with that person. Whatever might have happened in the past and the history, you must not allow it imprison you. You have to find peace with it. Like I've been writing in recent times, you have to embrace the chaos that is you. Embrace your history, because that's happened. There's no running away from who you are. You have to embrace who you are. Settle scores. Forgive yourself. Forgive those that offended you. Forgive those that hurt you, right? It won't help you if you hold anybody to ransom, right? You don't deserve it. You don't deserve to hold anybody to ransom, because you're holding anybody to ransom. The true person you're holding to ransom is yourself. So you need to release yourself from prison. Let yourself leave. Let people go. Let people go. Don't hold anybody to ransom in your life, irrespective of what they've done for you, because that's the only way you can get your authentic self. If you don't set to score, you cannot move forward. You cannot live your authentic self. To live your authentic self, you have to release people, release your past, forgive yourself, forgive people, see them in the humanity, irrespective of what happened, see the limitation of their lives, right? It's like Jesus Christ on the cross would say, forgive them, Father, because they don't know what they have done. So forgive everybody and release yourself, because that's the only way you can get your authentic self, your true self, to live for you, right? So Alana Kelly tells us, he says, your authentic self is who you truly are as a person, regardless of your occupation, regardless of the influence of others. It is an honest representation of you. You have to be authentic means that means not caring. To be authentic means not caring what others think about you. To be authentic is to be true to yourself through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Right? It's to be true to yourself through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Right? And we're gonna go ahead here for the sake of time. Here also I instructed 11 characteristics of an authentic person. Right? The first one we look at here is it says that an authentic person is a person who does not bother about material objects, right? For you to be authentic means that you must not be carried away by material things. You must not be finicky about things. You must not be one that is controlled by material things. You have to live above material things if you're going to be an authentic person, right? We talked about also that there are people that value experience, right? Is living in the moment, living in the present moment. They are not people that are locked up in the past. They are not people that are locked up in the future. They are people that live the moment, enjoy life, enjoy love, enjoy people, enjoy themselves, right? That is what it means to be authentic. It's to be real. It's not to have any fake feeling or fake association, or to truly allow life to touch you. If life does not touch you, then you're not an authentic person. To be an authentic person is someone that allows life to touch you. And it doesn't matter what that part of life that is touching you, whether it's the good, the bad, the ugly, but you allow it to fizzle, you embrace it, take it in, and begin to put it into its right definition. You don't allow it to control you, but you always retain control. But you don't run, right? So there are also people that listen to others. They are not people that ride on their high horse. It's not my way or the high road, right? There are people that believe in other people because they believe in themselves. So they listen. They know that they don't know it all. So they are willing to learn, to grow, and to also to know that to allow other people to influence and help them, because they know they cannot do everything. So they understand the power of multiplication, whereby you can tap into what other people have to increase that which you have, right? They are not afraid to express themselves, right? Because they're not afraid to make mistakes. They understand that they're human. They're not running away from their humanity, right? They're also not people pleasers. They're not people that run after people just to make people happy or flatter people around, right? And they value giving love, right? They value giving love, but it's also not just giving love, they also value receiving love also, right? That's the place we talk about they value experience, and also they value experience, right? They allow themselves to be touched by life, right? There are also people that love themselves, right? Because if you don't love yourself, you cannot be authentic. It's love yourself, love others, right? And they also see and acknowledge their faults. They're not people that are going to be blind to their faults. They know that they're human. They understand their weaknesses. They understand their strengths, right? And they grow their strengths and know how to defend themselves from their weaknesses also, right? And they're also able to embrace their uniqueness. You know, like Peter Drucker said, you cannot build excellence from your weakness. You build perfection, excellence from your strengths, from your uniqueness. They understand the power of that. And number 10 is that they stick to their morals and values, right? An authentic person is someone who has a structure, right? It's not someone who just changes color like a chameleon. It's someone who is stable, who has integrity, who has values, who has a belief system that they live and order their lives after, right? And they also listen to their inner voice, right? That's very important. They listen to their inner voice. That's the power of their life. It's being able to respect their God feeling. They are connected to what we call infinite wisdom, right? Allowing their intuitive mind to grow and to work for them. They're not people that are always looking for voices from outside, but they are people that live from inside out, right? And So in closing, authenticity is simply being in tune with one's own humanity and using it for good, right? For you to be authentic, you need to understand who you are. You're human. We're all human. If you start seeing yourself as not human, then you won't be authentic, right? You'll be who you are not. But a person that is authentic is one who's in tune with his or humanity and is able from that to use it for good, right? And that's all. That was the last slide there. And